Hello, my very dear Cancers. This is your reading for the week of May 18th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And it will not be for every Cancer because it's a collective reading. First thing that I heard was time and space are your friends. And what are time and space? Time and space are two key elements when you're setting a boundary. No, I will not until, or really literally distancing yourself from the people that would be requiring things of you. That can be another thing. Now, the other thing that I heard was, don't be afraid. I wrote it down. Don't fear the swing of the pendulum, because each time it moves from one extreme to the other, it gives you information. So the swing of the pendulum is directly connected to, and the setting boundaries, is directly connected to you now being in a situation where you are more and more able to start expressing and experiencing your emotions beyond what they were before. What they were before, when they were anchored in the caretaking of, the over-caring, the codependence in a way, but really just over-caretaking. And the sense of identity that was so strongly linked to that kind of loving. Now, why this is relevant in terms of the swing of the pendulum and the boundaries is this. What I started hearing was information about the fact that when we are anchored in the idea of caretaking, and it has become so much a part of our structure of how we think of how we love, that's our norm. Whenever you start changing the norm, it can be uncomfortable. And especially when setting boundaries means confronting or challenging somebody, this is not something that's necessarily easy for us to do when we've been the ones who are always trying to make things easier for people. So what can happen in a case like that is two things. One, you keep doing it, but then you can end up really building resentment for the people who are requiring this. Why can't they figure it out? Why can't they manage themselves? Why do I have to step in, even if they haven't asked you to? But there's that sense of wanting to make it better. For their sake, yes, but also for your sake, because their discomfort makes you uncomfortable because you pick it up. So this is where the taking care of people can make a lot of sense for a Cancer person, because all of that empathy and all of that heart can be difficult sometimes to manage. So by managing other people, we don't have to handle it in ourselves. This is where the swing of the pendulum comes, and the boundary setting. When you're setting boundaries that you are uncomfortable setting, especially if you have resentment for being in a position of having to set them, they can come out quite not smooth, and not in a way that kind of creates cooperation. It can come off as very much of an attack almost. So, and the reality is many times it will not be, but if you fear that it's going to be, it can. Does that make sense to you? The more you resist the idea of having to do it, this is how they're simplifying it for me. The more you resist having to do it, the more you will be in blame for having to do it, and agitation and aggression. And so it's probably not going to come out very nicely. Now, that's the thing. The other thing is you're afraid it won't come out nicely. So you get all uncomfortable and you get all irritated, and that can create that kind of energy behind it that feels like an attack when it's not. It's just about your own discomfort. So it can go either one of those or any of those ways. What you're being told, Cancers, is, again, don't fear the swing of the pendulum. Don't not do it because you're afraid it might come out wrong. Do it within your own time, within your own time and within your own space, so that the kind of space that's comfortable for you, that may not make sense, but it does if you think of it in terms of if you have to confront somebody or challenge somebody on something that's uncomfortable. Is it easier to do it in your private space? Is it easier to do it in public? Is it easier to do it out while you're walking? Or sometimes it's easier to get into really close personal, intimate conversations when you're driving in a car and you're alone in the car and you have that containment. So look at your time and your space around what it is you need to communicate. And that can allow you to put it within the context that's good for you, so it's less stressful, so that it is really more about, it's really coming more from the center point rather than from either extreme. Okay? Now, you've also got cards here that I absolutely love, because it's talking about the first two cards that came up, and I didn't even mean to pull the second card, but when I do that without thinking, I'm trusting that it's coming through for a reason. And in this case, I definitely think it does, because creativity and dreaming come together. I'm going to read them because it's perfect. Creativity is an energy and is designed to be lived and appreciated in all acts of life, from the socks you choose to the kind of mustard you put on your sandwich. Creativity is not a gift, endowing the bearers with a membership to a private and elite club. Now you've got dreaming. Dreaming is an act of creation. Our most life-enhancing dreams are our highest minds or spirits speaking to us about potential and fulfillment for the kind of life our personalities and egos have limited. So dream big, dream in Technicolor, dream rich and full and affluent in all things. Then you've got humor. Take a light approach. Take a light approach. Look for the silliness, the fun, the absurdity in things when you're dealing with them, because that can really help remove the prejudgments and kind of soften any defensiveness behind it. Not just with other people, but with you yourself, right? And remember, and this is so important. And I mean, as I'm looking at them now and I'm feeling it all together, it's like it's perfect, because then you've got the cards I like and take a break. One is saying focus and really pay attention to the things that you admire about yourself, that you like. Character traits, qualities that you admire or that you have been admired for. Look at those, but then and take a break from trying to fix yourself. This swing back and forth is a part of the learning. It's part of the growth. This is you being able to experience love in a different way. This is about you breaking down some of that patterned need to take care of people. Whatever the reason for it is, wherever it came from, if you've grown up in any kind of insecurity, where you feel as though you had to really monitor your behavior in a way so that chaos didn't erupt, then you are going to find it kind of core aspect of your personality to take care. So you add that onto a Cancer sign, and of course with all of that water, it's there. Now, this is the other thing that's really important. Creativity and dreaming. I hope you're still with me. Okay, the thing about this is being in touch with your feelings is not always the easiest thing in the world, because we'll always have almost like layers. We'll stay in this one. Okay, maybe we'll do some work and we'll get to this one, and then maybe we'll do some more and we'll get to this one. It's not always easy when there's a lot of anxiety in the body. When we've been in positions of feeling like life isn't secure, it can create a certain, let's say, baseline of anxiety that is higher than perhaps is normal. Our nervous systems might be set at a higher stress point or at a lower stress point. What you're being told here is this. You are a Cancer sign, and as a Cancer sign, you are water, and intuition and creativity is an innate part of who you are, because it's all part of that same frequency. When you can start doing something that is creative, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to tune into that energy in a way that is not linked to your specific emotion, to an emotion of love, hate, desire. It's not attached to a particular person. What it's doing is it's moving you into the feeling quality of what performing that creative act does. Now, whether it's singing, or whether it's painting, or whether it's clay, or whether it's coloring or doodling or gardening, anything that is moving you beyond the emotion or the feeling of a specific emotion in your body to the act of doing. Let me explain. For example, paint by number. Doesn't have to be a big thing. When you're painting, you can use your wrist. You can use your fingers. You can use your wrist. You can use your shoulder. Which one are you moving from? As you're trying to get that one little specific part in the paint by number right, which one of those is going to work? And as you do that, and you're starting to feel what it's like to move your body to change something at the other end, you're getting connected to that sense of you being in your body, but in a safe way, because it's something towards, it's not towards an internal emotion, it's towards something external that's actually calling that energy up out of you and through you. Now that's a really simple example, and there are tons of them, and there are tons of ways to be creative. And please understand, I'm not saying this is about making art. I'm saying creativity is an energy and is designed to be lived and appreciated in all acts of life, from the socks you choose to the kind of mustard you put on your sandwich. It's everywhere. It's an attitude, it's a choice, it's an intention. So if you can look at creativity as something that is allowing you to kind of move beyond your head and move beyond specific emotions, but the feeling of specific emotions in your body, and move towards this, what this is going to do, Cancer, is it's going to help align you with what your true nature is from an aligned place, because you are a creative sign. Cancer, I find this absolutely beautiful, because if this is coming up for you now with all of these cards that are so aligned, the creativity, the dreaming, the boundaries, how to keep the boundaries, but also focusing, remembering to focus on what you like about yourself and that you don't need to fix you. This is exploration, Cancer. This is exploration, and it's beautiful. I love this for you. I'm going to leave you. Take good care.